Today on What It Looks Like Homemade, we're going to make the most delicious sweet potato casserole you have ever had. Guaranteed. Your family and friends are going to walk around saying, "Who made the sweet potato casserole? Anybody know who made the sweet potato casserole? It's the most delicious sweet potato casserole I have ever had." That's what they're going to say, word for word. I promise you, it is so good. So that's what we're going to do today on What It Looks Like Homemade, the sweet potato casserole. And do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. It would be greatly appreciated. So let's go ahead and get started with the most delicious sweet potato casserole on What It Looks Like Homemade. All right, listen, here we go. You don't know how to cook, I'ma teach you now. Stir fry, cheesecake, apple pie. Get your mind right, you ain't gotta ask why. I can do this all night, let me show you how. Everything tastes good when you follow me. Make your friend ask, can I get the recipe? We turn lemons into lemonade. Get your cooking skills and upgrade on what it looks like homemade. What it looks like homemade. What it looks like homemade. Homemade. So to get started on our delicious sweet potato casserole, we're going to need some sweet potatoes. Now I found some really big sweet potatoes here at Walmart. I mean, these things are huge. Look at this. They are absolutely big. Now I have 4 of them. I've already washed them off and cleaned them and everything, so they're good to go. So we're going to start off by first peeling them. I'm going to go ahead and start with the big one first. Nice thing here. Just get to peeling right away. You want to make sure you don't have any brown parts. Get that out. Let's keep cutting it away. You want to get you a really good peeler. It makes the job a lot easier. Now, almost done with that one. See how easy it is. Now see here, see where you got the brown parts. So I'm going to keep peeling this away until it's completely gone. Here we go. Now you don't see it anymore. That's what you want. Like this peel is just flying everywhere. Now check your potato. Make sure you don't have any brown parts. Like I got a brown part right here, so I'm going to peel that away. And it's probably okay to leave it, but I don't like to see it, so I'm not even thinking about eating it. So when it's gone, it's gone. All I want is nothing but potato, sweet potato. All right, there we go. All right, now we got 3 more to do. Okay, now that we got it peeled, I'm gonna show you a little trick. Now, sweet potatoes are pretty difficult to cut, but here's a little secret. You take your fork and you stab some holes in it, just around, just a few. What we're gonna do is stab the holes in it, and then we're gonna cover it with a wet paper towel, and we're gonna put it in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. And that's gonna make it a lot easier to cut, because otherwise it is pretty challenging to get these things cut. And you don't want to be here all day cutting a sweet potato, and you don't want to hurt yourself because you may slip because it's so difficult. So just put a few holes in there, get your paper towels, put some water on it, like that. Then all we're going to do is just wrap it up, place it in the microwave for about 1 minute, 30 seconds. It's going to be a little warm, so just kind of be careful. Take this. That over here. So now when we cut it, still not gonna be like super soft, but it's gonna be a lot softer than if we hadn't done it in the first place. There we go. Now we just want to cut parts of it off here. See, it's still kind of challenging. There we go. So what we want to do is kind of cut like some slits. There we go. Now imagine if I didn't heat this up. Woo! It'd be really tough. So just be careful when you're cutting it. There we go. We want pieces about this size right here. And that way it's going to be easier for us to cut it this way so that we can make our little squares here. So I can do one more. Okay, be careful with your knife, especially when you get closer to the end. And go, the knife just kind of slid right through it. There we go. And so now that we have it cut into long pieces, we're gonna cut it long way so that we can make squares. We just cut like this, and that's a lot simpler. All right, just cut up real easy. Just that, get that out the way. I'm gonna get the whole thing cut, because next what we're gonna do is boil them in some hot, salty water. All right, so now we got our big bowl of sweet potatoes all cut up, chopped up here. Now we're ready to put it into some hot, boiling water. All right, so you want to be real careful pouring it into the hot water. Just do a little bit at a time. So it's gonna splash up on you. Find it better if you cover most of the pot with the bowl, then that way it doesn't splash up on you. And just like that. There we go, almost done. Now we're going to let this cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then we're gonna turn it down once it gets back to boiling again, because we put so much sweet potato in here, made it not boil. But once it starts to boil again, we're gonna turn it down to about medium and let it cook for about 15 to 20 minutes or until it's tender. And be sure to stir it up occasionally so that everything can get mixed in and become nice and soft, so that we can mash it up here in a second. Okay, now that our sweet potatoes are done, it's time to drain them, set them aside, and let them cool. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, we've let the potatoes cool down some. They're still a little bit warm, but that's okay. Now it's time to get to mashing. Get these all mashed in here. So a lot of potatoes too. Hopefully it won't be too big for our dish. For this, we just dump some of it out. If it ends up being a little bit too much, that's okay. We just won't pour it all in there. But we want to get it mashed up. We don't want to see any bits and pieces of cube potato at all. Kind of go side to side, twist it as you mash. That'll help make sure you get everything in there the way it's supposed to be. Because they're so soft, it doesn't take a long time to get these mashed up. Let me grab a spoon. Just want to get it turned over here. There we go. Now, if this is your first time making this dish, please leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought about it, how it turned out for you and your family. But this is a wonderful, wonderful recipe. Okay, now that our sweet potato is all mashed in, now it's time to add in our ingredients. So we're gonna start with a half a cup of milk. Put that in there. Next, we have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We have 2 large eggs. We have a half a stick of butter, melted unsalted butter, and half a cup of brown sugar, and then a half a teaspoon of salt. There's a lot of stuff in there. So we're gonna get all this mixed in. Oh, look at that. I mean, it is a lot of liquid. We're gonna do our best to get it blended well. Make sure you get those eggs. You don't want that one little egg straggling around. And you have a baked egg. There we go, got it broken up. And get everything blended in here good. And we'll be ready for the next step. I mean, you can tell this is gonna be super, super delicious. And if you can't tell, I'm here to let you know. What it looks like homemade, well, we do not play around. We do not play around. Okay, so now while the sweet potatoes are cooling, we're going to make the topping that we're gonna put as a layer inside of the sweet potato, and then we're gonna put it on top of it. So it's gonna be 2 layers of this. So it's gonna be really, really decadent, but it's gonna be fantastic. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be great. So we're gonna start off with 1 cup of flour. Gonna dump it right into our bowl. We have 1 cup of brown sugar. Dump it right in there. And then a half a teaspoon of salt. And we have 1 whole stick of melted butter. Just gonna put it all in there. Man, you know, there's something about butter and cinnamon. It just goes so well together. So we're gonna blend this up. We're gonna whisk it up here. If I can stop making a mess. There we go. Just gonna whisk it till it gets somewhat clumpy. This is not gonna take too long. And then we wanna add in our nuts. This is a 1.5 cups of pecans. Dump all of that in there. And we're gonna stir it up. And this is going to make it taste so good. When you add the sweet potato and the butter and the cinnamon and the pecans in there, boy, you got nothing but a recipe for awesome. A recipe for awesome. There we go. And it's ready to go. Okay, so now we have our 2-quart bacon dish. We're gonna pour some butter in here because we want it to coat it. This is just probably about a stick of butter, not a stick of butter, that would be way too much. Probably just like less than a 1/4 stick of butter. It's just enough to coat it. I'm gonna take the excess away. I just wanna get it, the edges and everything coated here. And now we're gonna pour the first layer of our sweet potato casserole. Spray it around. Now we're going to take our topping here and we're going to create a layer in between the top and the middle of the bottom. So just going to take it, just going to spread it on top. There's little sections here and there. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to all bake in there. We just want to have some in the middle. Try to save yourself some for your topping too. We want it so that when you bite into it, you get some of this delicious cinnamon, butter, pecan mixture in every bite. Okay, that should be enough right there. Now we can pour the rest on top. Spread it over, make sure you can cover up that layer of pecans. Spread that around. I always drop something on this table, always. I don't know why, every time. There we go, make it look nice and neat. Okay, now we're gonna take the rest of our pecan layer here and put it on top, just kind of mix it up there. Try to spread it around. Remember, when you bite into this, you're going to get multiple layers of satisfaction. Almost done. Filling in any little gaps you may see. Okay, now we got it all set up. We're going to bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. Oh my goodness, this looks amazing. Look at that crispiness on the top. It looks so buttery and creamy on the sides here. Those pecans roasted up nice. I mean, this looks fantastic. I cannot wait to dig into it. Boy, you are going to love this meal right here. Look at how it just cakes up like that. It looks so delicious. The second layer in there is so creamy. Oh my goodness. Now, you already know that my favorite part of the whole thing is the taste test. And man, this was smelling so good. I mean, it smelled delicious. Let's go ahead and taste it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Woo, boy, it looks so good. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Woo. Oh. Oh man, this is so good. Oh my goodness, the pecans are so good. That cinnamon, the butter, I mean, you taste everything and it is fantastic. Oh man. And I also browned it on the top, like I put it on broil just for a minute or so, and it got crispy on the top. It is out of this world. It's gonna knock your socks off. And if you're thinking about putting on socks, don't do it because they're gonna get knocked off anyway. Anyway, this is so delicious. I wanna thank you so much for watching What It Looks Like Homemade. If you make it, please come back, let me know what you think, because I think it is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So that wraps it up on What It Looks Like Homemade Sweet Potato Casserole.